Hi everyone, a couple days into class and I wanted to make sure and check in with all of you and hopefully all of you are becoming a lot more settled as you learn to navigate your way around the system and find the information you need to complete these assignments. And I know it can be an overwhelming experience to first come into this class and try and figure out the Blackboard application and find all the materials that you need, and then on top of it we have the textbooks integrated right into Blackboard, and then you're able to go into the MyComp lab and use all the features of that application as well. So I know it's an awful lot to take in, but hopefully as you get more and more settled into this class, you'll become a lot more comfortable with all the different features and know where everything's at and get into a groove. And I found that to be true with most classes I've taken, where the first few days are very anxious days, but once I get settled into the class I feel a lot more comfortable. I know where everything is at. I have a pretty good idea what the expectations are from my instructors. So hopefully all of you are getting to that point in this class as well. Just wanted to talk briefly about the way this course is laid out, because I don't want you folks to have the impression that this is Dave's course, that this is my design that I'm imposing upon all of you going in and doing all of these activities. This is something I certainly could never come up with on my own. What this course is the result of a lot of people working together to put together the best course possible for you folks, so that you're not only successful in this class, but you've got the tools that you need to go beyond this class and be successful writing reports and other type of applications for classes beyond this one, and also successful out there in the professional world as well. So this took the work of a lot of folks, including me. I had the privilege of helping to kick this class off initially. I've had continued input in that, and I appreciate that, but there are a lot of instructors who have gotten together to put together the best course possible, and I hope you really appreciate this experience. And I know it's a lot. I absolutely understand that. When you look at the activities that are involved in the short 7 weeks that we have, it's a lot to cram in to a 7-week class. But I've taught this class several times, folks. It's not like it's impossible, so don't feel like you're overwhelmed. There have been many people who have come through this class and have been successful at it. And the key is just staying up with the daily and the weekly activities, because it is an accelerated class. We're compressing this into a 7-week format, and then on top of it, it's an online class, which makes things even more challenging in some respects. It's more written oriented than it would be coming to a class and maybe doing some in-class activities as well. We don't have that luxury in an online environment, but you have the benefit of flexibility, being able to do the assignments when it works out best for your schedule, because for some of you folks it might work out best to do your homework in the evening because you have work during the day, or you've got other responsibilities. For some people, first thing in the morning is the time that they work on it, because they have other obligations later in the day. That's the beauty of online education, is it gives folks the opportunity to take a class like this and work it into their schedules. And for some people, this is their only option, and that's one of the things I really appreciate about online classes, is it allows people who otherwise would not have the opportunity to take an on-campus class to come and take a college level class and learn some quality material that will help them grow as professionals and obtain degrees that will also help them with their career goals as well. So I wanted to give you that background information so you realize this is not all coming from me. This is something that a lot of people have put together to make this a beneficial learning experience for everyone in this class. I like to use videos, I like to use audio, I like to play with a lot of different applications, because I want this to be a unique learning experience for all of you folks, where it's not just Dave typing messages back and forth with all of you. That's one aspect of the class. But I like to be able to record an audio message and talk to you and give you my insights on how you might tackle some of the assignments. I'll play around with YouTube here a little bit and integrate some some video messages in as well. I think that's a nice component. I've had students comment on how they appreciate the fact that it's not all just text oriented, that there's some video aspects as well. And then if you check out my office, the question and answer area in the discussion forum, one student asked about how do I access the grammar diagnostics, which is a great question, because again, it's not always easy to find all of the information. And that particular location, I had to do some searching myself initially, because it's not right there in front of you. So what I did is I recorded basically a step-by-step screenshot to show you how to go from our course to my comp lab and access those grammar diagnostics. So that's another tool that I can use to help you folks out when you get stuck and you can't find the information you need. Do your best to find it yourself, absolutely. I expect that all of you are going to take that responsibility and go through the course materials, because again, we've refined this and the information is there. It's finding it, I know in some cases, can be a challenge. If you do get stuck though, don't get frustrated. Make sure and post a question, preferably there in my office in the discussion forum, and I'll get back with you as soon as possible. So anyway, I just want to go through real quick and point out a few things that might help you folks become even more successful in this class. And I think the first thing is to make sure that you've got your material organized. That is so important. And I wanted to show this to you. I'll kind of step back so you can see this. This is something that I've put together for myself. It's a 3-ring binder, and if you notice here, I've got on the first page the calendar of the course activities and when all of the assignments are due. For me, this is probably the key document to have, because that way I know exactly when each one of the assignments are due. And that's what you might want to do as well. And I saw one other student had the idea of taking a course calendar and putting it right up where it's there in visual, so that way you don't miss any key assignment due dates. I think that's first and foremost the most important thing to have, and that's why I like this 3-ring binder, because it helps me to keep everything organized. And even though this is not the first time I've taught this class, I still need a print reference. I can't just rely 100% on finding everything on Blackboard, especially if I need to find something quickly. I can go right here to my printouts and find the information and get back with students as soon as possible, and it helps me with grading assignments as well. So I've got, for example, on my first page, my calendar, I've got the syllabus in there, so I've got all the course guidelines right up there in front of me. I've got the rubrics, which I recommend you folks print out as well. And then I have tabs for each of the weeks, and within those weeks I've got the weekly agendas, very important, because that gives you the details of each one of the assignments. And then I also print out the key assignments. I don't print out every one of them, folks, but I definitely go in and print out the ones that are important, like for example the research project that's in this class. And that's what I'd like to spend a little time going through real quick here today, and at least set the stage for your research project, because that is the largest element of this class. Definitely the biggest part of your individual contribution will be that persuasive research project. So I just want to point out a couple of things from that project to help you start thinking about where you want to go with this research project. And what I'd like to comment on, if you look at one of the reading assignments from this week, it's from your handbook, chapter 59. This is from the Prentice Hall reference guide, which you folks have online. It's on page 325, and this aspect of the text covers finding a topic for our research paper, which is the first step in a writing process. There's the need to fulfill an assignment, to find a topic that will meet that assignment, and that's really, I think, where you folks are at right now. As you look at, okay, what are your interests? What really drives you? What are you passionate about? And at the bottom of this first page here on 325, they've got a section entitled Finding a Topic for a Research Paper Includes the Following Steps. and they go through and lay out deciding on a purpose, deciding on a general topic that interests you, narrowing that topic to fit the assignment, formulating a research question about your topic, and formulating a thesis statement that answers your research question. That is a great overview on laying out the foundation for getting the ball rolling on your research project. And I guess what I'd like to encourage all of you folks to do at this point, especially since your topic proposal is going to be due next week, so that'll be coming up pretty quickly, is start thinking about the topic that you'd like to write your research paper on. So what you might want to do, and you might want to do this sometime here soon too, is go into the weekly materials for week 1 and go to the Persuasive Research Project folder, and that's located in the week 1 preparation within the assignment information and materials folder. That's where you'll find that particular project folder that contains basically the assignment overview for all aspects of the Persuasive Research Project. So I recommend going there, and I printed out a copy for me. You might want to do that for you as well, and just go through and browse through and look at the general expectations of the project. Don't get too much into the specifics at this point. Again, focus on one aspect of the paper at a time, and I think that's helpful to approach it that way as well, because I've taught a lot of different writing classes, and one of the things I appreciate about the way this class breaks down this research project is it helps you, in essence, do the different steps of a research project along the way, rather than trying to tackle a huge research project on the whole and feel overwhelmed by the process. What this class allows you to do is first think about a topic, put together a proposal to make sure that you've got feedback from your instructor that you're on the right track and you've got a good topic in place that you can write a good paper on, and then put together a problem definition. That would be the first aspect. Define the problem. And then the second part of that would be put together the solution, and then compile the paper together as a whole. I think you'll appreciate the way this assignment's been broken up into different parts, and then it will all come together towards the end of the class when you put your final paper together. But what I'd like you to do is take a look at the section that talks about the suggested topics for your Persuasive Research Project, because there are several topics in there for you folks to choose from. You might want to look at the options that are here. This is not an exhaustive list. You have the opportunity to write about whatever it is that you're passionate about, where your interests are, maybe where you're going career-wise. The only thing that we don't want you to do is to focus on something that's related to morals or beliefs or values, because then that gets kind of opinionated and it can be biased as well, and we want to stay away from that in a research-oriented paper. So look at these general categories and find something that really matters to you. I think that's the point I really want to drive home here today, is looking at this what the text is bringing up here on deciding on a general topic that interests you. That is so important, folks, as writers, to find things that really matter to us, to find things that we're passionate writing about, because writing is tough enough as it is. I understand that, and I've been writing for over 20 years, and I still am involved in writing different reports and writing for conferences and writing business correspondence, so I know how tough it is. And let's not make it tougher by trying to pick a topic that we think might impress the professor or impress our classmates, or just try to take on something monumental. I really advise against that, especially for this paper. What I recommend instead is to really focus on those things that really matter to you. So for example, if I'm looking down this list of options here, I want to find some ideas that maybe I'd really like to research and write more about. And the one that kind of stands out to me is number 4 there, outsourcing. That's a topic I would be interested in researching and writing a paper about. Now, outsourcing on the whole, there's no way I could write a short research paper on that broad of a topic. So the next thing I'd need to do is kind of narrow down what aspect of outsourcing I'd like to focus in on. So for me, I was in the automotive industry for